Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm Aja Goare. Investigators in California are looking into a horrific discovery of 13 malnourished people, including 6 children allegedly held captive by their parents. CBS's Chris Martinez takes us to the crime scene outside Los Angeles.
People living near this Southern California home had no idea what was going on inside.
I can't believe this. It's so sad.
David and Louise Turpin are being held on $9 million bail each, accused of holding their 13 children captive in their home. Police were tipped off after a 17-year-old daughter managed to escape. Investigators found 12 children, several shackled to their beds with chains and padlocks. Authorities said they claimed to be starving and described the surroundings as dark and foul-smelling. The children range in age from 2 to 29, but neighbors say most of them appeared younger.
The older kids, I thought they were like 12 because they looked so malnourished, so pale.
Sheriff's investigators have not revealed what may have motivated the accused couple to treat their kids so poorly. Neighbors say the children rarely went outside.
Yeah, I never knew that there was any kids living in that house, especially not 13.
State records show that children were homeschooled and that the father was listed as principal of a day school at the same address. The couple filed for bankruptcy twice. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Paris, California.
The minor and adult children were hospitalized. Authorities say they are doing well, considering. Young women are testifying today about the horrific sexual abuse they experienced at the hands of a former sports doctor who treated some of the nation's most elite young gymnasts. Larry Nassar will be sentenced after a marathon 4-day hearing. He covered his face today as young women described how, in some cases, the abuse wrecked their families and in all cases changed their lives. Olympic star Simone Biles added herself to the long list of athletes sexually abused by the doctor. A complaint against the Great Falls Rescue Mission alleges a girl was sexually assaulted at a summer camp operated by the mission. Camp Lifelight is operated by the mission, and according to court documents, the girl attended that camp in 2016 and was sexually assaulted by a 14-year-old volunteer. The family's complaint alleges the mission knew or should have known the volunteer had sexually molested, assaulted, or abused at least 4 other girls. The family says the victim suffered physical, mental, and emotional harm. Helena police are investigating a Monday night robbery at the Subway restaurant where a clerk was locked in the freezer. The clerk told police 2 masked men entered the store around 9 p.m. Police say the clerk was tied up and locked in the freezer after turning over money. Investigators say the clerk suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The suspects are at large. Contact police with information. Montana is on its own when it comes to paying the huge bill for last summer's record wildfire season. In addition to the hundreds of millions of dollars in federal money spent to fight the blazes this summer, the state of Montana and many local fire departments also spent tens of millions of dollars on fire operations. Montana blew through 2 years of fire funding during the most expensive season on record, sending the state into a budget emergency. Montana Public Radio reports the federal government has denied the state's request for $44 million of emergency relief to help pay for the firefighting operations. Previously, FEMA did award $11 million for some of the state's initial fire costs, but it's expected to take up to 3 years for some payments to come through. A government shutdown is looming if Congress and President Trump fail to reach a deal by Friday. CBS's Weijia Zhang has more.
Congress has until Friday to work out a deal to fund the federal government, but Democrats say the bill must preserve DACA, the program that protects young, undocumented immigrants.
I think they're using it as an excuse not to help this president get something accomplished, which I think is a sad day for our country.
Negotiations broke down last week after the president reportedly referred to some Caribbean and African countries as expletive holes. Lawmakers say they were close to a deal before that meeting.
We prepared a bill, a bipartisan bill that hit all 4 elements the president asked for.
In a tweet this morning, President Trump accused Democrats of wanting to shut down the government over amnesty for all. The president doubled down and said no more dangerous lottery. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham called on Mr. Trump to broker a deal.
I urge the president to lead us to that bipartisan solution. Mr. President, close the deal.
If lawmakers don't reach an agreement this week, the government will shut down for the first time since 2013.
Shame on any of us. We sit here and say, okay, we're going to let it run out for the sake of politics and shut the government down.
The DACA program ends in March, and those young immigrants could face deportation. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Republicans are reportedly considering a short-term spending bill to fund the government temporarily, but Democrats will likely be opposed. The Helena Regional Airport saw a record number of passengers and flights in 2017. 209,000 passengers came through the Helena Airport last year. The airport's director says most flights were at 50 to 80% capacity. Airlines increased aircraft size to better accommodate passengers. The airport also recorded a 29% increase in air traffic due to the number of air tankers battling wildfires this summer. Airport officials are considering adding a second daily Seattle flight and a flight to Portland. Construction on a terminal expansion is set to begin this summer. Straight ahead on the noon news, the memory of the lead singer of an Irish pop band will linger long after her death. More on the Cranberry singer next. But first, Ed has our weather forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching MTN News with Aja Goare, Storm Tracker weather with Ed McIntosh, and Farm and Ranch News.